Deep beneath the streets of Antwerp, Belgium, lies the city's famous diamond district, a glittering maze of vaults, traders, and secrets. Here, billions in gems change hands every year. Every window gleams with the light of polished stones, and every building hides a world of unimaginable wealth. At the heart of it all stood the Antwerp Diamond Center, a fortress built for one purpose: to protect the world's most precious treasures. The vault beneath it was said to be impenetrable. Dual key locks, magnetic fields, heat and motion sensors, a steel door thick enough to stop a tank. Security experts claimed it was the safest vault in the world. But on a cold February morning in 2003, the impossible had happened. When guards opened that door, the vault was silent and empty. Over $100 million in diamonds, gold, and jewels had vanished without a trace. Not a single alarm had gone off. The cameras were disabled, the locks untouched. It was as if ghosts had walked through steel. Police were stunned. The vault's magnetic field sensors were unbroken. The thermal detectors had registered nothing. There were no footprints, no fingerprints, no witnesses, only 123 open safe deposit boxes, and a mystery that defied logic. Behind that silence, however, lay years of careful deceit. A man named Leonardo Notarbartolo, a charming Italian jeweler, had lived among Antwerp's diamond merchants for nearly 3 years. He rented an office in the same building as the vault, paid taxes, wore fine suits, laughed with the guards. No one realized they were shaking hands with the man who would mastermind the greatest diamond robbery in history. Leonardo wasn't just a thief. He was an illusionist. He built trust slowly, studying every detail: which guards worked nights, which cameras rotated, which alarms were real, and which were bluffs. He learned the rhythm of the vault itself. And he wasn't alone. He was the leader of a team Italy's police would later nickname the Spaghetti Squad. Each man had a role to play. Each was a master in his field. What began as an idea whispered in smoke-filled rooms of Turin would soon become the heist of the century. But no one, not even Leonardo, could have guessed how close they'd come to perfection, or how one careless mistake would destroy it all. For 3 years, Leonardo Notarbartolo played the part of a respectable jeweler. He dressed sharp, smiled easily, and became a familiar face in Antwerp's glittering diamond district. He even brought chocolates to the security guards at Christmas. But behind his polished charm hid something else: a mind built for crime. Leonardo was the leader of a small but elite group of Italian thieves, later nicknamed the Spaghetti Squad. Each man was a master of his craft: the genius, an electronics expert who could silence any alarm; the monster, a fearless giant, with a steady hand and ice in his veins; the king of keys, a locksmith so skilled he could duplicate a key from a single photograph; and Speedy, a jittery but fast-footed getaway driver with nerves of glass. Together, they began planning a heist no one thought possible: to rob the safest vault on Earth without leaving a trace. Leonardo's office inside the Diamond Center was their secret weapon. From there, he studied guard routines, camera angles, and the way employees opened the vault. He installed a hidden camera disguised as a smoke detector, recording every keypad code and key turn. Weeks became months, months became years. They built a replica of the vault in an abandoned warehouse in Italy, and rehearsed every motion like actors in a deadly play. They learned how to blind the heat sensors with foam spray, and used aluminum foil to trick the magnetic field, fooling the system into thinking the vault door was still locked, even as it swung open. The plan was executed down to the second. Leonardo even practiced how to walk through the hallways without triggering floor sensors. Slow, deliberate, weight evenly balanced. Every breath was timed. Every heartbeat counted. By early 2003, they were ready. Leonardo rented a gray Peugeot, packed the lockpicks, tools, and bags for the loot, and drove from Italy to Belgium. The chosen night, February 15th, Valentine's weekend. While the diamond traders dined with loved ones and the streets above glimmered with laughter and wine, the thieves below prepared to vanish into legend. They entered the Diamond Center through the front door. No guns, no force, just a keycard and confidence. Leonardo nodded to the night guard, who barely looked up. He'd seen the Italian jeweler 100 times before. Down the elevator they went, into the belly of the vault. The genius covered the cameras with black plastic. The king of keys opened the locks like a surgeon. Aluminum foil pressed against the sensors, and the vault door opened with a whisper. For hours, the only sound was metal clicking and jewels clinking softly into bags. They cracked open 123 boxes, working with the precision of ghosts. By dawn, they were gone, leaving the vault clean, silent, and sealed. It was a crime so perfect. The alarms never even knew it had happened.
By the time the sun rose over Antwerp on February 16, 2003, the Diamond District was quiet, eerily quiet. Down below, the vault that once held the city's greatest treasures now sat hollow and violated. The thieves had stolen more than $100 million in jewels, but left the security system perfectly intact. It looked as if the vault had never been opened. Leonardo Notarbartolo and his crew had pulled off what investigators would later call the most brilliant heist of the modern age. There were no alarms, no broken locks, no forced entry, just empty safe deposit boxes. Their contents vanished into thin air. The crew loaded their bags of treasure into Leonardo's rented Peugeot and drove south toward Brussels, hearts racing but calm, believing they had done the impossible. Their plan was meticulous. By dawn, they'd split up, cross the French border, and vanish forever. They were almost home free. But every perfect plan hides one fatal flaw. After reaching a quiet town just outside Antwerp, the group stopped in a forested area known as Ardennes to burn the remaining evidence. Leonardo watched as his partners threw away plastic gloves, security camera tapes, and leftover food. But one man, Speedy, was nervous. He panicked, tossing bags of trash into a roadside ditch instead of burning them. He swore it would be fine. It wasn't. A few days later, a local farmer noticed the discarded trash. He saw envelopes from the Diamond Center, half-burned documents, and a sandwich wrapper with Leonardo's DNA. He called the police. When investigators arrived, they found a treasure trove not of diamonds, but of evidence. Receipts for the rental car, security footage scraps, fake wigs, electrical tools with fingerprints, even the aluminum foil that had fooled the sensors. The trail led straight to Leonardo Notarbartolo's apartment in Turin, Italy. When police raided his home, they found bags filled with cash, diamonds, and documents linking him to Antwerp. But even as they arrested him, the most crucial question remained unanswered: where was the stolen fortune? Of the $100 million worth of gems, police recovered almost nothing. The diamonds seemed to vanish from existence. Leonardo later told reporters, "The loot is gone forever. It's already been sold, and you'll never find it." But investigators weren't convinced. Many believe the diamonds were never fenced, that they might still be hidden somewhere in Belgium or buried deep in the forests of the Ardennes. A crime so perfect undone by a bag of garbage.
Leonardo Notarbartolo sat in a Belgian prison cell, smiling faintly as investigators demanded answers. To every question, he gave a different story. Sometimes he said he acted alone. Other times, he hinted that a secret network of diamond dealers had hired him to stage a robbery, an inside job designed to hide insurance fraud worth millions. He never revealed the truth. In 2005, Leonardo was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but most of his accomplices were never caught. The police could name the suspects: the genius, the king of keys, the monster, yet they couldn't prove who actually stepped inside that vault. Most of the crew disappeared back into Italy, living quiet lives under new names. And the diamonds, they were never found. Not a single cut stone, gold bar, or trace of the loot has ever surfaced. Even today, detectives say the missing gems could be anywhere, sold, melted down, or hidden in plain sight. What remains is the riddle. How could a team of thieves bypass a 6-layer security system, steal the world's most valuable stones, and leave almost no trace behind? Years later, Leonardo was released early for good behavior. Reporters swarmed him, asking where the diamonds went. He grinned and said, "If I told you, they wouldn't be lost anymore." To this day, the Antwerp diamond heist stands as one of the greatest unsolved robberies in history, a perfect crime that unraveled only because of human error. Some believe the diamonds were never stolen at all. that they were switched out long before the heist, and that Leonardo's crew took the fall for a far deeper conspiracy involving corrupt traders and hidden insurance claims. Others believe that deep in the forests of the Ardennes, beneath layers of moss and earth, lies a cache of glittering stones waiting to be found, a buried fortune worth over $100 million. No one knows for sure. What began as the heist of the century became a ghost story whispered among jewelers, a legend of greed, brilliance, and betrayal. And if you ever walk through the quiet diamond district of Antwerp, past the same steel doors that once guarded a fortune, you might still feel it, the hum of a mystery that refuses to die. Because somewhere out there, perhaps under your very feet, the missing diamonds of Antwerp are still waiting to shine again.